everybody, and welcome to Comedy Doctors. I'm your host, Michael Panzeca. There's a little history to Comedy Doctors. Let me tell you a little bit about myself first. I've been a counselor for over 35 years, helping people with issues like substance abuse, depression, anxiety. I've also been a professional comedian for 25 years. So the people over at Comedy Flow decided they wanted to help people with their problems out there in the world today. There's a lot going on, a lot of things going on in the world, a lot of people having problems, and we all know that laughter is the best medicine, not these pills that you see behind me. Comedy is the best medicine. You're making people laugh and have a good time. In fact, it's impossible to be depressed when you're laughing. I like to say I comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable. However, I couldn't possibly do this all by myself. But before we get started with the show, we want to thank our sponsors. The sponsor, the Big Apple Shopping Bazaar Jewelry Exchange Salon and Spa Suites. Located in beautiful Delray Beach, Florida, the Big Apple provides shoppers with specialty boutiques and amazing items and at fantastic prices. For more information, go to bigappleshoppingbazaar.com. Okay, now, as I said earlier, I couldn't possibly do this all by myself, so we brought in some heavy hitters tonight to have a panel of professional comedians help you laugh away some of your problems. If you're watching right now and you think you have a problem, go ahead and send it to us. Comment below. We also had some problems sent in advance by email, and we also have some videos. But let me bring in our excellent panel. First of all, let me welcome to the show the very funny, the very talented, the very motivational Fran Capo, ladies and gentlemen. There's Fran.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Fran. I was watching your TED Talk last night, and I really enjoyed it.
Well, thanks. And you know what? It's funny because when I was preparing for that TED Talk, I asked them, because there's usually like 10 or 15 people on a TED stage. Yeah. And I went, is anybody else funny during the thing? And they went, no. I go, why? They said, oh, it's just not funny. Yeah. I go, well, is it all right that I'm going to be funny?
Right.
And they were like, if you must. I'm like, if I must. I was like,
nice.
Because that's the way that I look at everything in life. I like to be able to motivate people, and I like to be able to captivate them, and I like to do it through telling my funny adventures, because I hold 9 world records, which is really cool because the other guest also holds a Guinness World Record. So it's really neat. And so I talk all about how to have a world record mindset to help you accomplish anything. But there were funny stories of how I broke the world records to be able to do that.
Oh, I watched it. It sucked me in right away. Your personality, you're Italian. You're Italian, right?
Yeah, Capo. Hey, head of the mob.
Right,
Capo
right.
di tutti. Yeah.
And from New York, right?
No, Texas. Can you tell by the accent? Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, New Yorker. Yeah.
Well, we really appreciate you being here for this wonderful cause. We're going to try to help some people tonight. Let me bring in our next guest. I'm sure you've heard of him as well. Let me welcome to the show Joey Kola, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, guys. Hello.
Another great comedian that I've been following for a long time. How you doing, Joey?
Pretty good. Excited to be on the show with you guys tonight.
Yeah, we're excited.
Gives me something to do in this COVID situation, you know?
I know. I mean, we could do it in our same room, but we'd all get sick. So we got to do it this way. We're doing the best. We're just trying to make a difference in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's good to be on here with you and my other 2 panelists. First of all, Franny, I've been doing stand-up for 40 years, and in the first couple of gigs that I ever did, Fran taught me how to actually do the business end of the comedy industry, and she was a very big influence. And John doesn't know who I am, except I know him, and we've met because I've been doing warm-up for TV shows in New York for about going to be 28 years now.
Oh, wow.
And when John came on the Martha Stewart show, I think he was doing the dog show at the time, John, and warming up TV shows, very, very, very few of our celebrity guests actually make a connection and walk to an audience and connect with the audience. And the best 2 in my whole career, 28 years, was Regis Philbin and John O'Hurley, who came over to the audience and endeared himself to the audience, and they loved him. And when you left, I said to the audience, you know, nobody does that. Nobody. And the audience loved you. Everybody loved you, and you was an amazing. It was an amazing experience to have you there. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, let's get him on the show. Let's bring him in. I don't know if anybody's ever told him. He looks a little bit like Peterman from Seinfeld. But let's bring in John O'Hurley, ladies and gentlemen, with us tonight to help us out.
Yeah.
Thank you, John. Welcome, John. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you so much for that warm welcome and that really sparse introduction. I was hoping for a touch more. So, if you don't mind, and you're watching this, I'd like to begin again and reintroduce myself. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the man who killed Seinfeld. An affair that began some 35 years ago with a badly lip-synced version of The Yellow Rose of Texas for a KTEL record commercial of Mitch Miller's greatest hits. Since then, he's managed to kill 3 series of his own. 4 songs. He's guest starred on more than 50 television shows. Not one is still on the air. The golden week of television ratings, he managed to take not 1, not 2, but 3 shows off the air in 1 week. Ellen, Seinfeld, and Damon. Ladies and gentlemen, the Grim Reaper of television, John O'Hurley.
Oh, yeah, amazing. You know, I was.
That is an introduction.
You're right, sir.
Yes, that
You're right.
was.
I'll work on it. When I was watching some of your stuff last night, I was thinking, wouldn't it be great if he would do an introduction for the show? So I just didn't do one, so I knew you would jump in and do one for us. So John, how's everything going, John? What's up? What's happening with you? What's going on? What are you up to? Where?
Well, I'm living the joy of lockdown. It has stressed out every relationship I have, and not the least of which is the most important, my marriage. I tried to take a nap the other afternoon, and my wife made me sign a do not resuscitate order. It's stretched thin right now. But I am having. This has been. I always believe that in every inconvenience is an opportunity misperceived.
Yes.
And I've used this time to kind of find out how can I come out the winner on this. I've been very lucky to have stumbled upon that platform called Cameo.com. Maybe you've heard it. And
Yes.
People have. We're basically, and the premise, if you're not familiar with it, basically celebrities have an opportunity to go on and wish people happy birthday, happy anniversary, happy retirement, happy. It, for me, has been something of an epiphany because of the character of J. Peterman and his ridiculously perverse and tangent monologues that he was known for. I've been able to really have a rebirth of that character and my own creativity at the same time. I have behavioral scientists or psychologists, call me now and have me do cameos for their kids that are stressed out from 7, 8, 9 years old, and to do them as King Neptune from SpongeBob. And isn't that funny? And because they'll listen to me, but they won't listen to the behavioral psychologist. I have stage 4 cancer patients that just need to laugh. And so I write them a J. Peterman monologue, a tangent to what's going on in their lives. And many people that are celebrating substance abuse anniversaries. So it's been, in addition to just the same old, happy birthdays and anniversaries, it's been an epiphany of being able to actually use the comedy and the lunacy of J. Peterman to actually make a difference in people's lives and just make them perk up or listen. And so I have my little tiny TED Talks that I do a la J. Peterman, and that's been a lot of fun for me.
Nice, very nice.
Great.
You made me think of something that my father said to me one time. I was in my room. I was in high school. I was a teenager, and I had a picture of Jim Morrison on the wall and John Lennon. And I was not getting up, and he goes, "I don't understand. You listen to this asshole. You listen to this asshole, but you won't listen to this asshole." And you reminded me.
Did it change things?
No, I still have the posters up. But also, I was telling them earlier, I just got done doing a group with 10 teenagers who are in a program that we're now doing online. And I am challenged with the task of entertaining and helping teenagers who are struggling with anxiety and substance abuse, depression. And the only way you can keep them entertained is you got to be entertaining, and you got to be funny. We laugh, we cry. I comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable. So I just got done doing that. But now you guys know why we're here, right?
Yep.
We've got some people out there with some problems, and we are not doctors, but we have medicine. And the medicine is going to be laughter and comedy. So we're going to bring up our first video of a person with a problem. I want you to listen closely, and let's see if we can help this person.
Hey, comedy doctors. My name is David. I live in Boca Raton. I got a little bit of a problem. I got a great wife. I love her a lot. She's a terrible cook. She can't boil water. I don't know what to do, because if I tell her, she gets upset with me, and then I have to deal with that. I hope you got an answer for me.
Never can hear them. They don't really say anything.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
All right. So did you guys, did you hear? Did you?
No.
Oh, you didn't get to hear it. Oh,
that's why we said that. We saw
I was
nothing.
wondering why you guys were talking. The guy was on the ledge, and you guys were making jokes. No, that was David. David from Boca Raton, and his problem is that his wife is a terrible cook, and he doesn't know how to tell her.
Okay. I will have to say this. I am not a good cook. And my ex-husband, now, you don't know that she's doing this on purpose, okay? Because she might actually, because my ex-husband said, you always cook the same things. You always cook the same things. Figure out something that I like that you could cook. And I didn't like it because I didn't really want to cook, so I purposely cooked bad. So what I did was I saw meatloaf and I saw something else lying around, and he came home and I presented the meatloaf with the blue and the purple and everything comes out. And he goes, what is that? I said, you said make something you like. You like meatloaf and you like M&Ms. So I put the M&Ms in the meatloaf. And then he said to me, he goes, that's horrible. I never want you to cook for me again. I was like, mission accomplished. So the wife may be doing it on purpose.
Yes. Okay. So do you think he should tell her or not tell her?
Just say, well, unless he's willing to cook for himself. Yes.
Okay. All right.
I'll chime in on that. I learned very early on, and something my father told me, and I think very wisely. He said, women who gain a few pounds have a tendency to live longer than the men who mention it. So my response would be, no, she's doing her best in an area that maybe, and at best you're going to get, you're going to get a line reading. You're not going to get a performance.
Right.
All you'll get is one good line reading, but the performer is not there. Right. So just accept for the fact that that's the way they do it, and order out a lot.
Yeah.
Well, why can't he just bring in food, eat outside, and feed the bad food to a dog?
Exactly.
Maybe. I would eat it anyway. I would eat it anyway, just a little bit of it, say this was great, dump it out, and make an excuse to get out of the house to go get something else.
Yeah, I feel like he's lucky to have anybody cooking for him at all.
Yeah, of course.
Most men have a tendency to gain weight as they get older. This is a built-in circumstantial surprise, so embrace it and accept that as your gift from God.
Yeah, or he can cook half the meals. And maybe teach her a little bit of what he wants her to know.
I think that is quite frankly, that's a message from God right there. It's something that, cooking can be something you can honestly do together. And it could be a lot more fun, and take over the responsibilities of the, maybe preparing the protein, because usually that's what's cooked so badly.
Right.
But whatever it is, learn to do it together rather than saying, why should I be on the receiving end of dinner every night? If it's that bad, then it's my problem for complaining about something that's not going to replicate or not going to repair itself.
Veronica, we have a comment. Veronica Mosey from Facebook says he should cook for himself.
That's right.
That's what my goal was, and that's what I accomplished. You cook so bad, they cook for themselves.
I see what you're saying, Fran.
But to cook together is a relationship building thing, and ultimately that's something that deepens the relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. My wife and I went to Italy. We came back. We learned how to make pasta, and we do it all the time now. It's the greatest. And we're together for 40 years. married 34, and
Wow.
it's just at this point we're much closer now.
Second.
And one of the reasons is because we cook together.
Oh my God, I hate cooking so much. Cooking together would drive me crazy. Yeah.
No, make it fun. You got to
My
make it
fun
fun,
would
Fran.
be him cooking and me laughing at him. That would be my fun.
Lindsay Ann from Facebook says, yes, I agree. Learn together. It's a group effort.
Yep.
So I
There
think
you go.
people are making suggestions
Fran-
now. They're
Fran
trying to get
Capo
on the
came
show.
up-
Excellent. I can't see that. I cannot see that. I can't.
That's because you didn't eat enough carrots.
Yeah, that's not going to work. You're going to need a bigger marker than that. Okay, so let's get. I think he lives in Boca Raton. He has a wife that cooks for him. I don't feel sorry for him. I'm sorry. All right. Here's one. Here's Barbara from Rockwood, Tennessee. My PayPal account and my email got hacked. Over $1,000 got charged to my charge card, but that was all taken care of. But the next morning, I received 11,000 emails from all over the world in every language you can imagine, from the retailers and all kinds of solicitors. What the hell is wrong with people? I'm angry. I don't know what to do, and the worst thing is I can't even crochet. It's like writer's block. Can you help? So, she's obviously...
How does the crocheting fit in?
That's what I was thinking, Fran. Come on, let's be empathetic. Let's try. Okay, so she's having trouble crocheting, and she justifies it with all of that other stuff that happened. I think she may be relating a lot of things to crocheting. So she's having trouble crocheting because of this trauma, this PayPal trauma that happened to her, and she's having crochet block like a writer might have writer's block.
Okay, first of all, if you're angry, you shouldn't be carrying 2 sharp needles with you. Okay, that alone is not a good thing.
Right.
But I honestly, crocheting all this stuff together. There's a site called it's like, oh man, Unlist Me. It's like you push a button and it takes away all the mail that you don't want. You just click all the checks and all of it's gone. Right. I went from 44,000 emails down to 2,000.
Yeah. I just found it interesting that of all those things that happened, the 11,000 emails, the $1,000, that the thing that she's really concerned about is the crocheting. Like, that's the problem? Really?
Yeah, why is she combining all these different aspects of what's happening in her life?
Yeah.
You got to take one thing at a time, fix it, and then move on to the other thing. And maybe she should take a crochet class online or something like that.
Or maybe she should crochet something that she could put over the computer so she doesn't have to see the email.
See,
I basically have thinned the herd on my emails, where I'm only receiving investment advice from Lagos, Nigeria. And I got to tell you, I have done so well. I have not cashed in a penny of it right now, but just on paper, I'm worth about $10 billion right now.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
Just from being very selective on who I work with on my emails.
Yeah, the Nigerians are great with the bank accounts.
You feel a little bit like they are just kind of, God love them.
I have a solution for Barbara. I think what she should do, your suggestions are awesome. I think what you should do, Barbara, is crochet something, sell it on PayPal, and then rip everybody off the way you were ripped off. I think that would combine all the problems and solve it all. And then when you do a crochet, I want you to video us with your crocheting and we'll put you on the air. Okay, let's go to the next problem. My wife, this is Douglas from Facebook, my wife always hounded me to take the garbage out. I told her since you couldn't cook it, you take it out. My wife always hounded me to take out the garbage. I told her since you couldn't cook it, you take it out. Okay.
In other words, the garbage was mostly her food.
Yeah, that's kind of a passive-aggressive comment.
Am I reading it correctly?
I think he's related to that first guy.
I do too. What is it with these guys? They act like they're starving.
Yeah, really. There is a thing called a pizzeria. There's a lot of delivery. Yeah.
Listen, I work on the Rachel Ray Show, by the way.
Oh.
And I'd like to say, by the way, that if you need to learn how to cook, Watch Rachel. She'll teach you how to cook.
Thank you, Joey. I didn't know that. Thank you.
Yeah, I warm up her audience, and we got a new segment coming on called Joe and Tell. Get it? And I bring videos to her.
Get it.
And we give them to people. Give things.
I'm going to brag about Joey for a second. He's literally one of the best warm-up comics for television shows. He's in demand, like in all different areas. I mean, from one television show to the other. Everybody loves him.
And I cook.
And he cooks. And I crochet.
And I throw the garbage out. And by the way, I love putting the garbage out because I'm amazed when I wake up in the morning, I look outside and it's gone. It's like a miracle. I mean, I put a lot of stuff out last night. I was like, they're not going to take all this stuff. And they did. They did. It was such a beautiful thing that happened. So cook for your wife and then clean it up and then put the garbage out and be somebody who's deserving of her love.
Right. Right.
That is actually very good. Yeah, stop complaining about the garbage. Women do more stuff around the house anyway.
Let me ask you a question, Fran. As a female, so I'm kind of old school, and let me ask you if this is sexist. Sometimes when I see a woman taking out the garbage, I offer to do it because I just feel like a guy should do it. And I had a neighbor one time that was like, I can do it myself. She got offended that I was taking her garbage to the garbage thing for her. What do you think?
Well, you know what? That I remember with my second husband. I remember. What does that say? But I remember I was taking the garbage and I was like really lifting, and he was a martial arts guy, and I remember him going, "I can do it for you." I'm like, "Okay, I just want you to know I can do it, but if you really feel that you need to do it, I like my doors opened." I'm like, "You want to take out the garbage and lift it?" You know what? I learned a saying from a stand-up comic friend that you guys may know, Jeanette Barber. A lot of times when we don't want to do anything, we go, "Man alert." All right, you know what? Can you open this, honey? Can you do this? Yeah. I don't need to prove that I could do the garbage. You want to take out the garbage? Go right ahead.
Yeah, Lindsay.
Or you just ask them if they need some help.
No,
Lindsay Ann says Fran's got spunk. Sorry, John. Go ahead, John.
There is a tradition in the history of men that a man stands between the woman and the street, and it was because the slop piles that were thrown out of the window would be thrown onto the street, and sometimes they'd miss their mark. But the woman always stood on the inside, so the man always respected. And that's the same thing. I think that the basest of our lives, which is our garbage and our refuse of any sort, the man always feels as though he has to, that's his job.
And so what the same woman about, I don't know, a month later, she broke her leg and she had a cast and she had crutches and she was taking the garbage to the thing and looked at me like I should help, and I refused. I was like, "No, you got this."
You lost, right? Exactly. Yeah. Carried on your crutch.
All of a sudden, it doesn't become not sexist because you have a cast on. All right, what?
People get. I really hate when women get like that. Oh, you can't do that. That's a guy's thing. That's a girl's thing. I'm like, oh, just shut up.
Yeah.
You want to take out the garbage? Go ahead. You don't make a big deal about it.
All right. I think we got that one covered. All right, let's go to an email. All right, here's an email. I'm a 30-year-old woman watching her friends move on to the street. Next phase is what? I'm a 30-year-old woman watching her friends move on to the next phases of life. As happy as I am for my friends, I'm not there yet. I'm still in the phase where I like to go out with my friends and get wildly drunk at parties. Please keep in mind I have a stable job. My bills are paid, and I'm there for my friends and family. With that said, recently, we were throwing a friend a 30th birthday party where we were all ready for the 20s funeral. We had our black ensembles, coffins, and black roses all ready. Are you guys reading these before you give them to me?
We can't see them. I can't see
No,
anything.
not you guys. I have to read it. When another friend wanted to bring her birthday to a party during a pandemic, how do I tell my friend to leave the baby at home? Not all the time, but like sometimes. Okay.
How did we get from a party to a funeral to a baby?
That's all over the place, man. Is that one lady?
Guys, that made no sense.
Okay, if her question is,
you got to paraphrase that better. Yeah.
I think she's drunk now.
I think she's at a party right now.
I think she was drunk texting you that message. I think was what was happening. But you know what? I have parties every year, and I say it's adults, no drinking, no kids. Yeah. And if you want to come, that's great. If you don't, don't.
If
don't care so much what people
listening,
think.
I'm going to say to you what I say to my clients in group. Say that in one sentence. Because the truth is usually very short and direct. Say that to me in one sentence. All that other stuff has nothing to do with anything. What's the problem? I don't even know what the problem is in that situation. I can't hear you. Okay.
Yeah, well, I think she might be afraid to grow up. To be honest with you.
Here's one. All right, put that back. Here we go. I got one for you guys. I'll try to do a better job. My bad. I'm 35 years old, and I finally met a girl I could see myself marrying. Everything is going great, except the fact for she is the worst texter ever. Oh, I get BRB stands for be right back, but text like it was GR8T2, see you today, drives me nuts. And don't even get me started with the endless amount of emojis I need to translate as well. Seriously, how can I get her to type actual words?
Give her a dictionary.
All right. I think you need to stop dating 16-year-olds, first of all. That's the problem.
You know, thank you for bringing this up. I think one of the great poison darts in contemporary relationships is this stupid-ass thing called texting.
Yeah.
Do not text anything of meaning to anyone. If you want to text information very quickly, that's all you have to do. Nothing that has an emotional, if it needs an emoji, you better pick up the effing phone and call, because it will be misconstrued, and there's no emoji that will ever replace the thought and the feeling of the human voice or the human contact. And we've got to get away from this. Texting does not replace human contact. And
that's right.
I heard they were going to try to do the debate with just emojis.
Or we are lost as a civilization. If Hallmark's cards have taught me anything at all, it is that appreciation looks best in print, but it looks good in language, not texting.
Yes. And Frankie Santarcangelo from Margate, Florida says date someone older than 11, which is kind of but I agree with you, John. This texting, there are some uses for it. If you're running late, you send a text, whatever. I can do it from my car without, I can just talk and text to let someone know I'm running late or whatever. But when people are trying to have serious, real conversations via text, it's a cop-out, and it doesn't work, and it causes more problems than it solves.
It makes me so angry to have any sort of a conversation over a text, because things get misconstrued, and you'll spend hours trying to untangle a web that should never have been woven.
I feel
because
better,
you can't hear the emotions in a text. And actually it depends, because sometimes when people are texting, they talk to text, and then it gets mistaken. And I remember I was driving, and my husband was like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm not home. I'm not home. I'm not home." And instead the text read, "I'm not a hoe. I'm not a hoe. I'm not a hoe." And he's like, who's calling you a hoe? I was like,
Can you imagine who's on first? By text?
Yeah. Oh.
And you know what, John? I'm glad you said that, because now I don't feel bad about all the texts I sent you that you haven't responded to. I really appreciate that. Now I understand.
With bad emojis.
Yes. Okay.
I call everybody. Everybody gets a call, and they get mad at me for calling. Why are you calling me?
Yes.
Because I want to talk to you.
I want to talk to you. Yeah, Joey.
You know, the problem is that, and Joey and I, when we were texting, that we just stopped and we started talking. Remember what? But the thing is, I think everybody is in such a rush. They want to do the conversation quickly, and a phone call takes more time. God forbid, takes more time. But a text is like,
no, it doesn't. I don't think it really does, Fran. I don't think it takes more time. I get more done in a 30-second conversation than I would of 30 seconds of texting.
I think
I agree with you, but I think that's what people think. I think that they say, "Oh, now the call's ringing. Now I got to speak to them. It's going to be an hour." Right. Whereas they think if they're texting, they're hidden behind that little.
Yeah, well, it depends who it is. If the person you want to talk to is long-winded, and just goes, then it's easy to use it like a Morse code, like see you at 2,
right,
and that's it. And like
Yeah.
I do it like it's a Morse code type of thing, you know,
And
just
Lindsay,
the important words, and then I'm out.
and Lindsay is right. You can't hear the sarcasm. I think it's a cop out to avoid emotions. I think people do it so they don't have to have any uncomfortability when they communicate. It's a cop out. It's a cop out. It's not good. I think we're going to move on to the next email. What do we got here? Give me something. Let's see. Okay. That's one we.
Whoa, we're getting a nice view of the house.
We just did that one. Okay.
John left.
Here's one for you. Let me see if I can do that. I'm a college student. Go Tigers. Yeah, well. And I got 3 roommates, 2 of which are girls. Me and my buddy made the mistake of thinking that living with 2 hot girls would lead them to hooking up with their friends, but instead it only led to cleaning up after them, dishes in the sink, shoes everywhere, etc. We're stuck in a lease, so I need to find a way me and my buddy can make this last an entire year. Any advice? Because I'm seriously consider moving into my hatchback.
Okay. What I would say is they should do a list and then they should divide the chores. Okay, you have to do this on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and give everybody little assignments, and everybody has to do their assignment. And then there's like a penalty. They have to get the food from that first wife who didn't know how to cook if they don't do it right.
Wow.
I think their plan went awry. I mean, their plan to meet hot chicks kind of took a bad turn. So they're going to have to figure something else out in the meantime. And they learned a very important lesson that that's not how you meet somebody to have a decent relationship.
No. They thought they could meet their friends. And you know what, Fran?
I was looking for Nookie, and I ended up with a hygiene problem I don't even want to go into.
That's right.
And now they got to wait a year.
I almost feel like Fran is so quick with these that someone sent her these before the show. Is that
No.
Fran holds the Guinness Book of
way.
World Record.
Well,
She's the fastest talker in the world. Did you know that?
That's right.
Yes, I did know that. You're very quick. You're answering these questions before you got to figure it out. You solve problems like that. Your sessions. You should be a therapist. You could do 10-minute sessions and charge $100 per
That's
session.
it. Drive-by therapy. That's what would happen. You know, they'll come in. I'll drive by. I'll give them the answer real quick. Go around the corner, see if they did it. If they didn't, I'll talk to them again. Yeah.
That is so good, Fran. That is so good. Yeah, the idea of when meeting girls. Because you moved. I've done this before. You can't do it. You can't do it. Just don't do it. Just say no.
How did they even know that the friends were somebody?
Exactly,
they
Joey. Exactly.
Like they just were the roommates the bait? Is that what they did?
They thought they would meet their friends. It was childlike magical thinking that somehow they're hot, so their friends are hot. We won't sleep with our roommates. We'll sleep with their friends. And they had this imaginary fantasy of how it was all going to go, and it didn't work out. Typical guys in college.
The hatchback isn't looking so bad right now.
That's right. Get a bigger car. Get an RV. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Do we have anything from anybody who's over like 40?
I thought you were going to say over 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Joey's requesting problems of adults.
Yeah.
We're going to go. Oh, he'll take adults for 5.
Okay.
Adults for 5. Well, while we're waiting for that, Joey, how have you been? I end up working from home a lot online.
Okay.
And at first it was very convenient. I want to see what you guys think of this. And I was working from home a lot. It was very convenient. It was like, oh, I'm still making money. I'm doing comedy. I'm doing counseling from my home. But the problem is now my home has become my office, and I never leave work. What are you guys doing stuff online or anything like that, or anything going on?
I did 2 shows originally from my living room, Joey Cola's Comedy Club from my living room, and I got about 40,000 views. And it was good. I did my act in 2 parts. I did 2 half-hour sets, and that was back in the end of March, and that was fine. And then I've just been doing a couple of podcasts here and there, and I got a new gig. It's called Unemployment Insurance, and I've been
I didn't get that.
Rachel
Who
gave me a
books that?
show for this next season.
Who books that, Joey?
And I have hobbies. I raise plants. I raise butterflies. I feed birds. I'm very connected to nature and my property. I like going out and working in the gardens and things like that. So that's how I've been keeping busy, you know.
Who would have thought that about Joey Kola is connected to
The
nature
butterflies.
and butterflies?
Yeah, it's butterflies, monarchs, and butterflies.
I'm lucky enough. I'm still not lucky enough to keep my Broadway career going by doing the shows from the house. It stretches the creativity a bit. I've been doing Les Mis from both my bedroom and the garage.
There's a hatchback if you need one. Yeah, go ahead.
It's a little tough, but it seems to be successful right now. Yeah, I know.
Well, for me, I've been I adapted it by doing this thing called Cup of Capo Live on Facebook every Monday and Wednesday at 11. And then I'm also a certified hypnotherapist. So because I saw a lot of people were anxious, I created a nighttime and a morning meditation that if they go to my website, francapo.com, they could actually download the meditation. And it also gives them positive feelings and things. I just did a table reading for someone that wrote a play. I've been doing a lot of voiceover work. Writing articles, doing consulting, had to write a book in 28 days because I've written over 22 books. So I've been helping people write their books. So for me, and I just finished because to keep yourself mentally and physically, I know I was supposed to be, because I do all these crazy things, I was supposed to be in Vietnam trekking 12 miles into the world's largest cave, the Sun Hon Dong cave, which is so big it could hold a 747. So obviously I couldn't go to Vietnam. So instead, they had this wolf run, so a virtual run that you had to finish 100 miles in the month of August, and tonight's the last night of it, and I finished 151 miles this month.
Good for you.
Wow. So, Fran, what do you do for fun?
Anything I want.
Fran, no, you live the life of a person who's been told they have 24 hours to live.
That's so true, because I mean, I don't know if you know, I mean, Joey knows this, but I did a book signing at the top of Kilimanjaro. I did a book signing down by the wreck site of the Titanic. Last November, I became the first woman to zip line inside an active volcano. So, and it was really funny because I was the first one in, so we were there 3 hours. You have to wear the sulfur mask, you know, obviously so you don't die. And then when they're bringing me back up, I hear, uh-oh. And I went, oh, that's not good. And so the guy goes, you're right down there. And I'm stuck in the cable in the middle between the bottom of the volcano and the top. And I went, no, I'm fine. He goes, you're not scared? I go, I'm not scared. I go, I'm doing good. All of a sudden, I see, and I'm not kidding you, like an Alfred Hitchcock movie, 20 vultures starting to circle me. I'm like, oh, man, I'm like meat on a stick. So they had to physically, I was stuck there 45 minutes, physically bring me up the volcano because the machine broke to bring the wire up because we zip lined down and to get us back up. So, you know, me, it's just like, what do you got? Live every day as if it's your last, and one day you'll be right. I don't want to be doing the laundry on the last day.
You can't see it on the screen, but I want to let you know, everyone is going like this. All the listeners are going like this.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. You know, there they are.
Well, I want to add to that with my applause and say that on the last day, I want my voice to be the last one you listen to.
You mean I got to call you?
I want to be late to my own funeral. That's what I really want.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
I literally want it's going to be arranged. Everyone's going to be there, and then the priest is going to come out and say, "Listen, Mike is running a little bit late." And have them wheel me in late. That's what I want. That's my final hurrah there. So
you know what? My husband, I have this thing because I read it that when you die, your body could be made into a diamond. So I said to my husband, "That's it. I like jewelry. I want to be made into a diamond." And he goes, "I'm not making you into a diamond." I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "You have a son. Who's going to inherit you?" I go, "It doesn't matter. That's what I want." He goes, "You're going to wind up in the belly button of a porn star."
We're having this thing now where my wife wants to be cremated and I don't. And she says if I go first, she's cremating me anyway. Because once she's cremated, she doesn't think that we can actually reunite in the afterworld unless we both are like either cremated or buried, or there's no crossover
Well,
there.
she could put you on the mantle. Yeah. Come on. She could have a nice place and put you on the mantle.
Wait, Joey, you want to be cremated or don't want to be cremated?
I don't want to be cremated.
Okay, but, you don't. Okay.
No, but she wants to be. But she's going to cremate me anyway, because I'm definitely going first. I only got about a half hour, to be honest.
So you better get some questions answered here. Yeah.
So I'm going to be cremated, and then they're telling me where they're going to spread my ashes. I don't even get the choice of where I want to be spread. But I'm going to wind up in a flower pot somewhere, or in the backyard, or I don't know where I'm going to wind up, in the wind.
Yeah. So, go ahead, Fran.
No, I was going to say, because you don't really have a choice. My dad wanted to be cremated. He had cancer. He wanted to be cremated. And so we were waiting at hospice, and he wanted me, when he got cremated, to take his ashes to the Grand Canyon. And so what happened was that night, I was supposed to leave for the Grand Canyon, and I didn't know if my dad was going to, because I had a trip planned, but I didn't know if he was going to die or not. And I swear, this might sound mean, but he was already in a bad state. And I whispered, and I went, Dad, nothing, but the plane leaves tomorrow. And he actually died. And then so I called the place, and I was like, listen, I know you said only 2 bags. I'm going to bring another bag. They go, what's the other bag? I went, my father. They go, what? I said, yes. But then I started getting all paranoid. If I bring his ashes, because I didn't know what they look like, if I bring it on the plane, what if like German Shepherd dogs start sniffing it, thinking it's cocaine?
Yeah.
And so I'm like saying, no, I need some kind of paper, whatever. Anyway, went to the Grand Canyon, and we had this whole thing with, I wanted to find a beautiful place for my son to dump his ashes. But then I felt guilty if I left all the ashes there, because we were going to have a funeral for him on the way back. So I brought a little bit of his ashes home. Well, apparently in the Catholic religion, you can't separate the ashes, or the priest can't perform the ceremony. I'm like, listen, I don't think God's going to care. And he's like, so another priest comes, and I'm like, where am I going to put his ashes? I found a little perfume bottle. I'm trying to put the ashes. I didn't know how you put the ashes in. I'm using a funnel, trying to get him in. Now my dad is like all over the counter. So now I'm thinking, oh my God, I don't want to blow the ashes, because that would be terrible. I'm blowing my dad's ashes. I can't do that. So now I take the ashes, and I'm like, Dad, you were a slob in real life, whatever. So I brought him to the funeral, and he wanted me to joke at the funeral. So my dad was a gambler. We had a shirt that said, gamblers don't die, they just crap out. And we had all these things. And the funeral director said, I have never heard so much laughter from a funeral. Yeah. And I said, well, what is life about? You go there to celebrate the person's life and what they gave. And that's the reason you're at the funeral, because of what they gave to your life when you're there, So it really doesn't matter. I mean, it's kind of weird to think. I mean, I'll be a diamond. Joey's going to be in a flower pot. We're all going to be somewhere. But, I think the thing is, you just live life to the fullest. And then whatever they do, they're going to do. I told him if he doesn't make me a diamond, I'm going to come back and haunt them, though. I did tell him that.
Right. And you will. You'll have time. I know you will. You'll be the busiest, most motivational ghost we've ever had.
And here's a question for you.
Yeah.
How come no one ever sees a naked ghost?
That's a good point. Well, I think ghosts lack self-esteem and guts.
Oh, so that literally guts. Yeah.
They don't have any guts.
Hey, can you guys see me anymore? Because I love
yes,
you on the screen.
I can see you, but I can't see your friend,
Don't worry.
John.
He thinks we cremated him. He's scared. He's already scared. We didn't cremate
He's like, oh, this
Joey.
is too much.
It's okay.
I can't see myself or John anymore. I can't see John.
There's John. John just came back.
I want to do something selfish right now. You just reminded me. It is my father's birthday today. I already did say happy birthday to my dad. My dad's 83 years old today. He still walks 5 miles every day. He's an amazing guy. We talk every day. Great sense of humor. Sharp as a whip. And happy birthday, Dad. I hope you...
Happy birthday.
I'm glad that you have a birthday you can spend with your dad. I lost mine this year. It's something to cherish.
I'm sorry, John, and thank you for saying that. And I agree with you.
Sorry to hear that. Yeah.
I'm very sorry, and I realize that that day will come, and every time I get a chance to talk to my dad, I just do, and it's great. It's great.
The days are precious.
Yeah, they are. And I have.
We're all here for a half hour.
Thank you, John. I'm sorry for your loss, John.
Joey keeps saying this half hour. I'm going to look at my watch and we're all going to disappear. Yeah.
I'm getting a message that we have another email.
Okay.
What do we got? I will read it to you guys. Okay. My boss might have the record for using the word literally every other sentence. Maybe I shouldn't quit. I literally can't. Maybe I should quit. I literally can't deal. Do you know anybody like that uses the word literally?
Literally, I think I do. Well, it's that word literally, but it's also the word like. You ever have somebody who always goes, and like I was like.
Oh,
yeah.
That drives me. You know what it does is it makes me understand that they don't know how to use their language.
Yes.
That's right.
Because they can't find the word. It's like when people use the word effing. Effing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Effing.
Yeah. Right.
Don't know the correct word that they're trying to use to express their emotions.
Yes.
So they use the word effing, or they'll use, and it's like they don't know the adverb that they need to use to describe the situation.
And the other thing I've noticed along those lines, John, is especially with young people, even adults, but especially in therapy, I'll ask them a simple question. It's a little bit, personal. And they'll start off with, I don't know, and then say it. And I say, stop. You do know. When someone starts a sentence off with, I don't know, they're asking you to not take them seriously. They're saying my opinion doesn't matter. Like, you don't want to start off with, I don't know, right? You guys know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do. I don't like when people
it's
start
like trying to
with the
motivate.
word so.
It's like trying to motivate with the opposite of an idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, when people do that, it's almost like their placeholder in their head, like what you were saying, John. Because if they're saying something like, well, that thinking process is going on, and they're not sure what they want to say, so they think they could stall by saying that. But to answer that guy's question, a lot of times if you repeat back what someone says, then they hear themselves say it. So if he goes, literally, I was blah, 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 literally, you just turn back to him and go, literally, were you doing that?
Wow.
Literally, you were? And just repeat it back to them.
Yeah. She's a genius.
That's a good idea.
Fran's a genius.
I doubt it, but whatever.
I can see none of you by the way, right now.
Yeah,
your circle turned black.
We're having some technical difficulties, but we're still keeping going.
I turned into a diamond.
Yeah.
Actually, it turned into a beautiful phone call instead of texting. So here
see? Very good. Love the callbacks.
Joey, you made such a strong case for not getting cremated. Can I ask, if you don't mind, what is your reason, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't know. I guess I'm just old school.
Yeah.
I'm starting to lean towards the cremation thing. I guess I'm just old school funeral. I'm Italian too, so we have the 3 days with the food and the thing, and put in the case and I guess it's just an old school habit. I guess I don't know. I don't even know why I'm attached to it. I really don't.
Right. Am I mistaken, or was there a time when they buried people in the cemetery and there was a string into the coffin with a bell above it in case they woke up?
Yes, that's where the expression came, saved by the bell. Because what happened was there were people that, fell into a coma or whatever happened, and they buried them. And the graveyard people, digging the holes, heard people and then would dig them up, and they realized they were alive. So they would have it attached to their finger, and they would ring it. And then that was saved by the bell. If the bell rang, they knew they buried you by accident.
That's why they named that character on that show Screech.
Oh.
Yep. I'm sorry. We needed that answer in the form of a question.
So
we're playing by your rules.
Listen, this will forever be a special day for me because of getting to meet you guys and talk with you guys. We had some technical stuff. We've put in a lot of work to doing this. We're very excited. We're going to keep doing this. I think it's a great idea. I think it can work. You guys were on the very first show, the world premiere.
Hey, another record, Joey.
We got through it, and you guys were amazing. And meeting Fran and John and Joey, And talking to you, I had.
And it sounds like you're trying to wrap up. and so
no, we're only halfway.
And so that being said, since I did your intro, can I do your outro?
I would love for you to do that. I just want to give everyone a chance to plug anything they want to plug before we go. And then, you know what, John, I was going to ask you to do that anyway. So thank you. But go. Joey, do you have anything going on you want to tell everybody about?
Just watch the Rachel Ray show. Season 15 starts September 14th, and I'll be on that show. Not every day, but I'll play a significant role on the show.
Excellent, Joey. Thank you so much. And Fran?
Well, one of the things, because this is a comedy show that we were doing, I have a book called The Humor Approach. If people want to find out how to add humor to business or everyday life, it's got a lot of suggestions in here, how to deliver a joke, how to work out a joke. I have the 2 meditations on francapo.com that people could download for free as a gift just by putting their email in it. And the other thing is I have a podcast called Fran's World, where it's all about humor, health, happiness, and following your dream. And a new episode comes out every Thursday. Everything's at my website, francapo.com.
Wow, she's living the life of 3 people. That's awesome, Fran. Thank you.
Thank you.
And John?
Fran, you're a doll.
Aw, thank you. You guys are too.
You are, Fran. You're amazing.
You really
enjoyed this very, very much. So that being said, I would like to close with a little bit of the wit and the wisdom of J. Peterman, with the best advice that I have ever been given. And it was a time when I was at my lowest. I was on the back end of a 13-day Chianti binge. Oh, yes, demons floating around in my head that weren't even mine. My neck felt like one gargantuan monkey fist. Yes, I was in need of spiritual renewal, but how? And when? And where? And it was at that time I decided to travel through the high country of Kathmandu with a team of Sherpas that had hygiene problems I don't even want to go into. But no matter, because I was looking for a man known only as Hisness. A man so spiritual, it is said, that he actually won a staring competition with his own reflection. Because that is who I was looking for. That is who I found. He was seated in the corner of a small chapel, his legs conveniently curled into a Windsor knot. And so I sat down next to him and stared into his ice blue eyes for what seemed like hours until I could stand it no longer. Then finally I said, "Please, give me that which I have come for." And with that, he reached across and slapped me as hard as he could across the face and said, "Go fish." Well, I was stunned by the words I had heard. I stood up in wonderment. Was this what my soul longed to hear? The words of a child's card game? Or was I on the receiving end of the old Tibetan shimsham? Well, I could not be sure. And so to be safe on the way out, I toilet papered his pagoda. But his words have echoed thus in my mind ever since. And now when my soul is tied in knots, I simply stop what I am doing, gather up my belongings, smile gently to myself, and I go fish. Because you see, what he was trying to tell me is stop living in the future and stop living in the past. The future will take care of itself. It is out of your control, and the past is no longer important and out of your grasp. But to find the joy in a million present moments. And why? Because that's where the fish are.
Wow. Bravo.
Very nice.
Bravo. I was going to do that too. I didn't know what you... I'm glad you went with the same thing I was going to do. No.
Yeah.
John.
I've been taken by the Tibetan shimsham many times.
John, thank you so much. That was so awesome. And I want to thank...
That was wonderful.
That was so great.
That was great. What a surprise. What a gift, John. What a gift you gave us tonight. Thank you so much,
See,
sir.
next time we have to do storytelling night. Yeah.
Wow, we got more than we bargained for today. So listen, I want to thank you all for being on the show. I want to thank everyone for listening. I want to thank everyone who sent in their problems. Keep sending your problems to comedydoctors@comedyflow.net. And we'll
And keep having them.
keep having problems so we can have something to do. Love
And
you
if
guys.
you can't think of anything else, go fish.
Go
Yes.
fish. That's right. Love you guys. Thank you so much. And good night.
Bye-bye.